In this video, I'll explain exactly what is meant by overdraft protection, and we're starting right now. Hey guys, Elliot here. So if you need to pay someone these days without using cash, you've got plenty of options like credit cards, debit cards, and of course applications like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, and Apple Pay, just to name a few. PayPal alone has 428 million users and, no surprise, was the largest online payment processing site worldwide in 2024. Likewise, Venmo, Zelle, and Apple Pay are easy to use and are hugely popular peer-to-peer payment systems. However, way back in the Stone Age of finance, and by Stone Age I mean early 1990s, there was another very popular method, and that was to write checks. Although they've been around for centuries, check writing really took off after World War II and peaked out in 1990 when debited credit cards and later online payment systems began to take over. As a result, since 2000, check writing has plummeted nearly 75% in volume, with most check writers being over age 55. To make matters worse, many retailers no longer accepted this form of payment, and it was easy to see why. Checks are not convenient, take time to clear, and are very susceptible to fraud. So then we don't need to talk about them anymore, right? Well, turns out that is wrong. Despite the rapid decline, a form of payment with a 1,000-year history is unlikely to vanish overnight. And it hasn't. According to a Yahoo Finance survey, last year nearly 54% of American adults wrote a check to pay for something. Now, it may not have been very often, only about 4% wrote more than 12 checks per month, but the method is clearly still alive and well with over half the US population. So then what is this overdraft protection all about? Well, to put it simply, when you write a check, you may not have enough money in your bank account to cover the amount. Now, the presumption is that this is accidental, because if it's on purpose, it's called check fraud. So if the amount you have isn't equal to or greater than the amount of the check will bounce, meaning it will essentially be declined. The result will be that whoever you wrote it out to will not get paid, and you will be charged a penalty which could be anywhere from $15 to $50, with the national average around $27 per occurrence. Overdraft protection then is simply a system where your checking account is linked either to your savings account or to a dedicated overdraft account. If you overdraw, the funds get pulled from there to cover the check so it does not bounce and you don't get penalized. Now, whether or not the service is free is really just depends on the bank. Some of them don't charge for it, especially if the overdraft account is your own savings, but you'll likely be charged if it's a dedicated overdraft account, as that is credit that is being extended to you, and that always costs money. What happens if an overdraft occurs, or if there isn't enough in the account to cover the check even with the overdraft protection? Well, if there is enough, the check gets paid and the amount just gets debited from your savings, or you will need to pay back the overdraft account if that's where the money came from. If the check amount is greater than what could be covered, things will just default to the regular bounce with all the problems and penalties that I described earlier. If you are still using checks, you absolutely should have overdraft protection, as you may forget exactly how much you have in your account or not annotate it accurately in your checkbook ledger. There are systems in place to instantly get a reading right there at the cash register to see if there is enough funds in your account, and this has helped a bit in avoiding bounced checks, but most of the time it's on you to know what you have in your account. Okay, that was a quick explanation of checks and overdraft protection, a practice not as archaic as you may think. As always, if you enjoyed this content, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.